Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and yesterday was probably one of the more dramatic days of Call of Duty that we have had in a long time at this point, but the spice continued on the timeline after I went to bed. We did touch on it very briefly yesterday, this Minnesota Rokkr tweet that they did, talking about, well, an absolute breakdown after OpTic had lost. They said, well, did not get the best reception from the OpTic guys, and certainly I can see why. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. This is Lando tweets out yesterday from, well, Chino. Initially, history loves to repeat itself indeed. And of course, this was the absolute insanity that we had last night. We could talk about this round for hours. I'm sure the guys did on the flank last night. I'll be watching it back in just a couple of hours right here. But as you can see, accuracy comes around this corner, lines the three OpTic guys up in honestly unbelievable fashion. That's what happened. And of course, not too long after this concludes, we get some reaction on the timeline. And well, this, for example, from Center, I thought was pretty entertaining, given that, well, he had his beef early on in the season with accuracy, saying, okay, yeah, this guy's not exactly that good. I'm the first to say Lamar is trash, but wow, Lamar will forever be a legend for this play right here. So kind of fair play between the two of them. I'm not sure accuracy responded to this. I think he actually ended up deleting it in the end. And well, as Envoy says as well, like, you know, you can see that play in the last round. I'm not really sure why he's challenging there. And, you know, Envoy hasn't exactly, you know, he's been up and down, I think, so far this tournament, of course, for the green wall. And he had some great maps, some maps where, especially in respawns, he wasn't really performing. And as Envoy says here, got to get more consistent at my game. Been in the cycle too much this past stage. If Envoy can really get back to the level that we know he can perform at, then well, I think OpTic can be even more contenders than they already are. But it's just these clutch moments which never seem to go their way, and they can't quite get over the line. Now, this is what we saw yesterday from the Rokkr. We are witnessing a breakdown, hashtag brick by brick, tweeted out the image of all the players having a tough time. And well, I saw this at the time and I thought, all right, well, this is a little bit maybe crossing the line, right? Like, especially against a team like OpTic. If this had been done against the Dallas Empire, against the, well, Atlanta FaZe or something, maybe it wouldn't have been as such of a big deal. But well, when you see something like this coming out against the biggest fan base in esports, maybe something's going to happen as a result of this. And I thought this was especially interesting coming from the Minnesota Rokkr, given that their relations with OpTic are so good. We'll talk about that in a second here, but it was just like last week when they both needed each other to do them a favor, as they did, to force seeding at the major. And now after the defeat, you know, we're tweeting this out, kind of kicking players when they are down, but at the same time, you know, some of this drama and trash talk between the teams that they do on social media can be pretty entertaining, but maybe this was, well, a step too far, you could certainly argue, as Scump does in a second. I mean, this yesterday also from the Rokkr, this is really needed. Absolutely, it was well worth it. And well, I think that OpTic Chicago, they don't get involved in stuff like this. They realize that if they do tweets like this, then well, their fan base will come after other teams. It's not exactly the best look. So OpTic don't get involved in stuff like this. And well, therefore, I think maybe they think that other teams should not do also, because this just happened last week, right? When Attach is saying, look, we love OpTic because OpTic beat Dallas, of course, and that gave Minnesota the #1 seed for their group for the major to get that bye. And well, just a couple of days, I think just the day before that, Rokkr had reverse swept Seattle Surge, and that guaranteed OpTic the winner's bracket spot because, well, they needed to, effectively, that's how the bracket had to work out for OpTic to get a guaranteed third seed, even if they did lose to Dallas in the end. So both teams did each other a favor. And well, as Scump says, well, you know, we love the Rokkr just a week or so ago. And then here we go from Scump yesterday. This is some of the most disrespectful stuff I've ever seen. We are literally heartbroken and you use it for impressions, post the clutch, post your celebration, but kicking us like this, your team was literally banking on us to get first seed last week. So unbelievably classless, says Scump. And as you can already tell, the tweet has since been deleted by the Minnesota Rokkr. So Scump certainly continues here. And well, I understand the backlash to this and the reaction. I'm sure that Scump and the guys are very frustrated with it. I think that, yeah, we do see some trash talk and some drama and spies and stuff like this between some of the teams online, but usually it's a little bit more tongue-in-cheek than this. Maybe you know, this of course did rub close to the wounds, especially given it literally just happened. And well, definitely one of the more heartbreaking defeats that we have seen a team have in a very long time. And as Form says, like, facts, straight up weirdos. And he seems to love this word. I remember I put it on the thumbnail last time. Maybe I'll have to do that again. Us at OpTic Gaming love to rub in other players' faces in the dirt after already being in the dirt. It is great. All in good fun though, straight weirdos. So, you know, this is kind of what Scump's getting at, the fact that OpTic Gaming don't tend to do this type of stuff. They don't tweet out, you know, they tweet out GGs and highlight clips and stuff like this, but they don't, well, kick other players when they are down, in the sense that Scump and Form believe the Minnesota Rokkr are doing right here. And as Scump continues, there is a huge difference between talking trash on LAN and an org tweeting a picture of the other team's heartbroken cams after a heartbreaking loss. If you don't understand that, I guess I'm soft. I've taken my fair share of losses. It is all respect between the players. So I certainly see where Scump's coming from here. I do think, though, still that if it was against Dallas Empire, if it was against Atlanta FaZe, it probably wouldn't have been quite as big of a deal as it was. And well, as Puckett says, I'm with Sean, COD ain't soft. You know, what happened to Call of Duty Spirit? Why did they delete the tweet. We'll look at that in just a second here. And as well, Puckett's kind of down for this ton of trash talk to happen on the timeline. As Scump says, look, tweeting a picture of our heads in our hands, come on, immediately after a heartbreaking loss. That is whack. Trash talk is whatever. This just ain't it. Remote competition is tough. I've seen you take and dish out way worse over a decade, says Puckett, legend, of course, in esports and Call of Duty especially. Agreed. It's between the players, though, and we fist bump and say GG's. This is a kick in the chest. And it's kind of a theme, really, between, the OpTic guys being kind of frustrated about stuff that goes beyond, just GG's between the players, in the sense that the video came out a while ago from the CDL with the trash talk stuff before and after the games, and they were thinking, okay, hang on a second, you're kind of trying to paint some storylines here that don't really exist, in that, okay, we're not really talking trash in these comms, we're just kind of hyping our team up, in the same sense here that when, okay, you're trying to build some sort of villain, role for the Rokkr here, whereas in reality that's not really the role of their organization in all this type of stuff. Scump does make it clear, like, I'll be done when I want to be done, I'm not, planning to retire anytime soon or anything like that, and this was a pretty funny conversation really between Arcitys and the rest of the guys. Love you, baby, hope you win it tomorrow, but not aBeZy, screw that guy, just super weird activity, can't believe you love me, taking my gimmick now too, and all this type of stuff, the wide is kicking a whole lot, you saw how we lost, what is even going on anymore, and this happened as well between Attach and Scump, so 100% agree with you, kicking players while they're down isn't cool, tweets should be deleted, GG's as always, brother. I thought this was pretty entertaining, but you guys I'm sure remember the 1 versus 3 artillery run through that Attach did way back at Stage 1 playoffs in World War II, in honestly a similar fashion to clutch a 1v3 in such an outrageous scenario. You pulled another artillery today, and as Attach says, I hadn't heard about this before, but at least we weren't on the same flight home together again. You wouldn't even let me look at you. So yeah, as I think Accuracy says, one of the funniest travel days I've ever experienced. But not too long after that, Rokkr do then confirm, after our match today, we posted a tweet that was out of line. We have deleted the tweet and apologized to the players from OpTic Chicago. GG's to all involved. And well, Chrome comes out with this pretty funny thing as well. So we saw not too long ago, right, the whole Toronto Camry situation where they came out with a graphic that said that, okay, Camry's going to have to undergo sensitivity training. This is a meme. This is a joke. This didn't actually happen. Chrome just made this graphic in Photoshop. We're building an inclusive culture. Our players and staff have the responsibility to meet those standards and live out the values of our organization. Our social media team has agreed to undergo sensitivity training, the Minnesota Rokkr team. So yeah, all tongue-in-cheek stuff, but I'm intrigued to hear your perspective in the comment section below. Is this too far? Is Call of Duty just getting soft? Or, well, regardless, it's stuff to talk about here on the channel. And well, I thought this is interesting as well. So Zach, who I believe is maybe the social media guy over at the Rokkr, who initially posted this is some of the most disrespectful stuff, effectively using it as a copy pasta. At midnight comes back in the replies, I think you should probably delete this, right? And this is kind of where it's interesting, right? Especially like Rokkr versus OpTic in terms of this Twitter drama that they, well, maybe tried to create here. I'm not really sure, because Midnight, of course, has been an OpTic for a number of years. She was on the OpTic pre-show not too long ago. Now the content manager over at the Minnesota Rokkr. So kind of strange that this would happen, given the relations between OpTic and Minnesota just last week was so good at Sky High, and now we have stuff like this where trash talk is rife on the timeline, and well, maybe that shouldn't necessarily have been the case. Wanted to touch on a couple of things briefly before we discuss the matches for later today. That being Decimate right here, open number 2 with the new squad tomorrow. So there's been some discussion about Decimate potentially getting a spot somewhere in the league. For now, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Maybe for stage 3 it'll happen, because I think a lot of people are looking at Decimate and Saints, especially as two of the guys that have obviously former been in the pro league in that top amateur scene, and thinking, okay, those are kind of the last two left of the real top talent in that amateur scene to actually get picked up to a professional squad. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening for Decimate quite as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. This also is pretty incredible. So Subliners Academy fallout at the tournament in top 32, I thought, or something, I think, yesterday. And this was incredible. This is, the Latin American scene, once again, absolutely coming in with the fire. And well, Go Clap right here clutches a 1 versus 4 against New York Subliners in this final game for the victory. Honestly, an incredible clutch. I mean, I'm not really sure what some of the plays were here for the Subliners. If you are going to clutch a 1 versus 4, there's always going to be some mistakes. But yeah, the hype from this community seems to be out of control right now, and I'm sure there's some talent down there, which potentially will get into the CDL at some point or another into the future. Let's talk about the matches then for later today. This, I think, maybe I'll play on screen for you guys right at the end of the video, but they actually were recording the FaZe guys, the situation as, well, it all went down with this crazy 1 versus 3 round 11, and Cellium's kind of casting it right here, so it's a pretty entertaining video, and I think there's also some clips that came out from the OpTic guys' perspective at the facility, which is, well, it's not easy to watch, certainly, but it's one of the more insane moments that we have had in recent Call of Duty history memory. So these are the games for today. Up first is Rokkr versus the Ultra. We talked yesterday the fact that Kevy Skills did that tweet, right, where he was like, okay, I can't wait for OpTic versus Thieves if it happens. And well, we don't even get close, right? Ultra just destroy the Thieves 3-0. Rokkr get past OpTic in that unbelievable fashion. So Rokkr are playing the Ultra in this elimination elimination round 5. And you've got to say fair play to both of these teams. They both made changes that weren't exactly fully popular. I mean, the Maniac move out was certainly a question mark, even though the Standy in was certainly well, a +1. I'm pretty sure everyone was on board with that change being made. And then Ultra, you know, minus Zinni plus Insight onto the team minus Methods plus Insight is another change that was pretty controversial at the time. Both those teams now find themselves top 4 at the major. They will be playing in the first match for a chance to face the elimination final against the Dallas Empire. And if they win that, they'll then play FaZe once again. But this FaZe team, I mean, they've gone to the grand finals again through the winners bracket. They've gone 3-1 in both their series so far. The scary thing about FaZe is, to be honest, they haven't really even been tested in a Game 5 down to the wire. And they now get into a Grand Finals where they will have a best of 9. 4 of these maps are S&D. And we know that FaZe are so good in theory at S&D. As of late, actually, the last couple of weeks, they've been a little bit lackluster in that Search and Destroy game mode. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if they come up with a fire in the Grand Finals. I think it's going to be so tough for any team to get past them. The team that I thought maybe stands the most chance, I mean, I think, honestly, all of these 3 teams could put up a fight. I just don't think that Ultra can make it work over like a best of 9 all that distance. I don't really think any team in the game right now can make it work over that distance. Rokkr, I think, have a chance though, because their Search and Destroy is very solid. They have some clutch factor. I think they could get there. I'm not sure quite Dallas Empire have the map set and the map pool to, well, you know, battle FaZe in so many Search and Destroys across that length of a series. I think the Rokkr actually have a chance. So I'd be really excited to see if Rokkr can make their way through round 5 and through the elimination final and see what they can do up against FaZe. That would be the grand final I would love to see, because if it's Empire again, I think it's almost a foregone conclusion at this point. But intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Go on the wall, Standy. Go on the wall, Standy.
Someone shot on the 2 minute.
Dude. No!
I'm always trolling. Lamar, why'd you back up? Oh, you missed.
Dude, oh my god. Oh
my god! No way! Ice, is that Iceman?
Wait.